The reports of 42 person weapon you. I never won. Try lose you, try them upon me. Well.
Oh my God, so Puff just got sentenced to 50 months in federal prison. I expected him to get out of jail. Time served. But it seems to me the judge showed no remorse, and honestly, he was like a 13th juror. He was acquitted on 2 of the biggest crimes, and what he was found guilty for, honestly, bro, dang near every single successful man, United States, around the world, do it. Only thing they don't do, they probably don't hit the girl. Hey, that's different. But 4 years for it, let's be real, bro. That's domestic violence classes, some community service, and it happened over all these years ago, and then you finally, come on, bro. Like, really? And this might be a crazy theory, but I feel like because Donald Trump went to jail, it showed the world that ain't nobody above the law. Ain't nobody above nothing.
What has taken place here is a travesty of justice. We did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong.
And I don't believe he should have ever went to jail. Donald Trump should have never got a mugshot. I think that was the worst thing for anybody to ever do in America. It was to give him a mugshot. And I don't even feel bad for him coming at every single person that came at him. But back to Puff. I digress. That's another topic. It's so ironic how the person that holds the keys to your freedom used to be one of your friends. He was your friend. He wasn't a person you used to take pictures with. Donald Trump was your friend. So if I'm Puff's team, I am going to apologize to Donald Trump, and I'm not talking about in a private letter.
When you knew someone and you were fine, and then you run for office and he made some terrible statements. So I don't know, it's more difficult. It makes it more, I'm being honest, it makes it more difficult to do.
You dissed him publicly, apologize publicly. I want to see you out of jail, Puff. And I say that I believe Donald Trump will not only let you out of jail, he proves to the world, hey, I'm not racist and I do have a forgiving heart. Because the wild thing is this, if Obama was in office, we already know he ain't getting Diddy out. If Joe Biden was in office, we already know he wasn't getting Diddy out. And if Kamala Harris would have won, we already know she would not pardon Diddy. And how ironic, the guy that y'all call racist is the one person who has the highest odds of giving Diddy a pardon. And you can tell because Donald Trump, he hate his enemies. But when he was asked, hey, Puff is going through a lot of stuff during his trial, would you pardon him? He didn't even say no or hell no. And you got, what you just asked me? He looked like he was bothered that Puff dissed him because they thought that they were friends. And he just said he'll look into it, but it's hard for him to really say yeah.
Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up.
So with that, I will write in this letter on my social media, publicly, apologizing to Trump and asking for his forgiveness and if he could let him out. And what can I do as Puff Daddy to make America great again? When I walk out of prison, I'm wearing a MAGA hat. Puff, don't care about, you shouldn't even care about the public. The public was saying no Diddy, baby oil jokes. The feds made it seem like it was a super crazy case. Everybody turned their back on you, Puff. Go to who your friend who was in power. Go to Trump. Be his friend again. Tell him you willing and ready to get you out of jail so you can make America great again. Bro, I really do feel like Cassie should be in jail too because she participated. She made some calls. That's 4 years behind bars. You already served a year, so you might be getting out in late 2027. You're like, bro, that's too long to be away from your family, fam. You should be out of jail. And that's all I got to say about that.
Diddy has finally been sentenced. All of us know what Diddy do now. When they do in party, we say they knock each other, they do some kind things for the party. But when I saw the sentence now, I was like, after everything went into, they just give him 4 years, just 4 years. Now, the reason why they did not give him more time is because he beat the RICO charge, and that RICO charge is racketeering, like having an organized crime that involves, bringing all those girls from different countries so that they will feel pay them and all of that thing. He beats that charge. If they argue with 25 years right now. So what it means is that Diddy is going to be out of prison in 4 years. Also, there are some things that came with this sentencing, like the prison where he will be in, the amount of visiting days he will have, all those things. They've not exposed it to us, but they're also saying it's going to be favorable to him. You see, this life, just get money, because if he not have money, he will not get a very, very good lawyer. When they talk of good lawyer, Diddy had one of the best lawyers in the world, and that's why he can get 4 years after everything when he do. Now the way they do that case that time, he come everywhere they hot. He can't be like they go sentence him to buy himself. That's why this thing called law, the thing they vex me. If not by normal way, that guy not supposed to come out for prison again. But now after 4 years, he go come out. I'm wondering when he come out, will they give him back all his baby oil? Will they give him all his houses? Because they seized a lot of things, they froze a lot of his accounts. I'm wondering, will Diddy come back to the Diddy that he was, or will he just be a regular guy on the streets when he comes out? Will he continue making music? Anyway, now the updates with that. Now what?
50 said didn't just wake up petty. He woke up possessed by every spirit of every person Diddy ever did wrong. Because, baby, the trolling is getting surgical. So 50 dropped this courtroom sketch of Diddy laying on the floor after he got the verdict from sentencing. He says, caption, I think he dropped his pencil. I'm going to send Jane to see him and make sure he's okay. How much do you think she'll charge for that? Y'all. Now 50, be real. That's not a man who dropped his pencil. That's a man who dropped his whole career. And that Jane line, he talked about the anonymous witness from the trial, aka his baby mama, because everybody know that now. Meaning 50 turned a testimony into a stand-up comedy. He's saying, I'll send one of your little freak-off friends to check on you. Like, I can't. Then he doubles down with this post showing the TMZ clip about Diddy being scared about being in prison. 50 captions it, oh man, he's only got 50 months to do. The lawyers are saying Sean's afraid of someone, him, LOL. Now 50 out here clocking the exact sentence like a probation officer and still finding the time to roast him. Like, this man is serving 50 months, not getting roasted for 50 minutes. But 50 is treating it like a straight up pay-per-view moment event, okay? And at this point, 50 Cent is not just trolling. He's producing a limited series, okay? And every post in this new episode of Surviving Shay, the Diddy Chronicles, and the wild part is, he's tagging his liquor brand in every caption. So he's literally monetizing the downfall. Between the courtroom sketches and the TMZ clips, 50 is reminding everybody his petty is timeless, his shade is undefeated, and his sense of humor is federal level dangerous. So yeah, Diddy got 50 months behind bars, and 50 Cent got 50 captions locked and loaded, okay? So stay tuned, because this feud ain't over. It's just getting started.
He cries for mercy. But where was the mercy when the women cried out? Sean Diddy Combs stood in court, broken, reading from papers and begging for forgiveness. He says he's humbled. He says he hates himself. He says he's sorry. Sorry to Cassie. Sorry to his children. Sorry to Jane Doe. Sorry to his mom. Sorry to the world. But let's be clear. Where was mercy the night that he dragged Cassie across the hotel floor? Mercy wasn't there when his fists landed, when women lived in fear, when the abuse shattered lives. No apology, no tears in a courtroom can erase years of violence. A man who built an empire on power and control now sits exposed. And the women that suffered under him deserve more than an I'm sorry. They deserve justice. So when the judge looks at him and he asks for mercy, the answer is very simple. Mercy belongs to the victims, not to him.
The judge looked Diddy right in the face right before handing him a 4-year sentence and said, you will forever be associated with Cassie and Jane. You can't wash them away. This after his attorney spent hours defending his character. Brian Steele said Diddy is a leader, a civil rights leader. Talked about his success and how he's given back to his community. He talked about the charter schools that he started. They also said that he shouldn't be punished for being an addict and that he got addicted to painkillers after getting surgery. They said that everything has been taken away from him, his freedom, his businesses, his reputation destroyed. They even said the money is gone. But they say despite all the bad things he's done, he's still a good man and that he needs help with his anger and drug addiction. So then the defense went back and talked about when the prosecution said that he already has speaking engagements lined up. And they said, no, it's not speaking engagements, it's teaching engagement. In fact, he plans to be a motivational speaker of sorts, going from prison to program to help inspire people and use his own story of hitting rock bottom to show that you can pick yourself back up again. They said it's healing. Now, the prosecutor spoke one last time, saying that Diddy showed us exactly who he was when he didn't know the cameras were rolling in that hotel attack video. And then we heard for the first time from Diddy himself. When it was his turn to talk, he sat in the chair a little bit longer, flipping through the pages of what he wrote down, before he stood up in place and put his hand over his face, moved his hand and then said, "Thank you, Judge, for giving me the opportunity to speak for myself." He said the hardest part about this process was having to stay silent and not express how sorry he is. His voice was shaky and he was on the verge of tears. He offered an apology to Cassie, her family, and to Jane. He was wearing glasses, one of his crew neck sweaters, and he had a full beard. His hair was grown out too, still gray. He kept looking down at his paper and then back up at the judge. Fighting back tears, he said, "I got lost in excess and ego." He said, "I'm humbled and broken to my core. I hate myself right now." And then he turned around to the gallery and his voice gave out when he said, "I'm sorry, Mom. I failed you as a son." After Diddy was done, the judge called for a break. Now we are already 6.5 hours into this hearing. During the break, you could see that Diddy was antsy because it was time for the judge to sentence him. He was rubbing his face, he kept putting his hands in his face. It was time for the judge to speak, and he reiterated that Diddy was only being sentenced for the Mann Act convictions. But the judge made it clear that he was going to take into consideration everything he heard during the trial.
All I have to say is that Diddy's lawyer did a wonderful job. They got to tell us the magic they did, because 4 years for all the case filed against him, 4 years for all the baby oil stuff. I will say this again, his lawyer did a great job. For me, there's no need for the lawyer to appeal, because 4 years is just like normal 2 years. And mind you, Diddy had already spent like 6 or 8 months already. So minusing 6 months out of 2 years. So within a year or 6 months, Diddy will be out. Although many of his supporters have said that, they might grant him amnesty, while some say that even US President Donald Trump might pardon him. But for me, based on all the crimes, if I to the point that our speed darlington went to Kirikiri, spent 3 months or 6 months in Kirikiri because of this Diddy, Burna Boy arrested our speed darlington, Mama, because of this same man. And now the main offender is just getting 2 years in prison. Like I said, the punishment for a poor man is not the same as the punishment for a rich man. If not the kind of Bobrisky lawyer now, I know say Diddy if he gave 50 years in Kirikiri, whatever, do you think that the 4 years is deserving or not? Tell me your opinion respectfully at the comment section.
50 months. Wow. Okay, so do the math. It's 15% credit, and he's already served 13 months. So that means out of a 4-year and 2-month sentence, Diddy will probably walk out of a federal prison in 2 years. On top of that, the judge also sentenced him to a $500,000 fine. Oof. It's $500,000. Look, to you and me, $500,000 is a lot of money, but I think to a billionaire, it probably isn't, and that's not probably what's upsetting Diddy today. I think he might have thought he was getting out after serving 13 months and all the letters that his family and friends submitted to the court. But you know who else submitted letters to the court? Were victims and family members of victims, etc., and they were pretty profound as well. And what was so big was Judge Subramanian, a federal judge from the bench, quoting from the record and saying, you gave Jane a pill and told her to get back out there and blank his dick and F him, I don't care. Jesus, the federal judge using super graphic language, it's big. It's really big. I am dying to find out what you guys think about this. Is it enough or is it not enough?
You tell me. You tell me what you think happened with the sentencing of Sean Diddy Combs. This judge talked a big game. The word on the street is that he personally didn't like Sean Diddy Combs, that he's gonna punish him, he's gonna make him pay for the crimes against humanity of what he did to all those people. We're standing in front of the courthouse, everybody's quiet, everybody's listening. What is the judge saying? P. Diddy comes on there, he starts speaking first, begging for his freedom, begging for his life. Did you let anybody out when they were begging for their freedom and their safety and their security? Any of those women or possibly children that you have compromised, did you give them a pass when they were begging that they didn't want to do what you were asking them to do? And then there was the judge's turn. And we're all silently sitting in front of the courthouse listening to what that judge had to say. He starts shredding into Sean Combs. Every single word that judge used, you would think that he's gonna put Sean Combs into prison for 20 years. You're a monster, you're not a good guy, you're not to be trusted. You cannot be trusted on the streets if we let you get out today. And all of a sudden, you hear those deafening words, but with that said. And I'm like, but with that said, what are we talking about here? Don't do the but without said thing. And the judge starts showing compassion. And the judge starts favoring to lighten and lessen the sentence for this monster. And all you hear is 4 years. 4 years, time served 1, be out in 3. And I'm on live on my TikTok. We've got over 80,000 people streaming in. And the emojis just start crying on my platform. And the tears of women that are survivors. And there's women on there currently that are in these horrific relationships saying that if this can happen, if Sean Combs can be held accountable for what he did, well, sure enough, that will give me the strength and courage to face my abuser and get out of this relationship. But it didn't. And it didn't happen. And all the news broadcasters start putting up their fingers for. And people were let down. And it sent a horrible message to everybody who's getting abused here in the United States of America that truly your voice does not matter. that we are going to continue to reward the criminals and punish the victims. But I want to remind every single one of you that this judgment does not dictate who you are. You have a voice. Lean on your friends, lean on your loved ones. Not one more punch, not one more kick, not one more spit to the face, not one more pull of your hair. Not one more time of your abuser telling you that you are not enough.
Y'all, Diddy would be home for Valentine's Day. Diddy got 4 years. They sentenced him to 50 months. And due to all the good behavior and the money, that's why I'm saying he might be out by Valentine's Day. Perfect time to come out to party. Now, Diddy and his team thought he was about to just walk up out of there. They like, nah, your ass gonna do something. Me personally, I thought he was cooked. Not only that though, y'all, they saying that Diddy had interviews already lined up, ready to write a book, a new album. Y'all, this Diddy being Diddy, just too cocky. Allegedly, he would have got sentenced in Laura or maybe free if it never would have got back to the judge that he was doing that shit. That Diddy became an actor today, y'all. He was up there and he was crying, and it was better than that apology that he did to Cassie. And all that he was accused of, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like his team won with this. Then you have one of the biggest stars, 50 Cent, write a damn letter to the judge. I'm surprised. That's the reason why he probably got that. 50 letters said that he was feared for his life if Diddy would have got out. Now, y'all, that's some sucker shit. Cause I don't recommend nobody to be in jail, but damn, is this not, that wasn't snitching, y'all? A little bit? What y'all call that? Is that not writing a statement? But maybe 50 really is fearing for his life. So my bad, Fifth. You probably was just trying to look out for the ladies that was scared of him. Sorry to the victims that took part in any of this. I know y'all probably just going through hell right now. And I'ma say this, cause I know nobody else ain't gonna say it. But based on these charges, in this case, the king of R&B should be out.
Sean Diddy Combs was just sentenced to 50 months. Prosecution was asking for 11 years. Probation asked for 5 to 7 years. And his team, defense team, was asking for 14 months. He's gotten 50. I don't know. How do you guys feel about this? So, I don't know. But I'm happy that he at least got some time. And I think that the judge was trying to be cautious just in case of an appeal. I don't know. I don't know. He did say that he took into account everything that Diddy has done and also the positive things he's done, but it can't outweigh the bad and the abuse. And he did mention that Jane and Cassie wanted to end it. And he felt like that meant that he needed significant time. So, I mean, this sentencing was a long day. How do you guys feel? What are your thoughts?